Okay guys, welcome back. In today's lesson we're going to discover how to find the volume of a cylinder. Okay? So I want you to start by writing the formula volume equals capital B times lowercase h, where capital B equals the area of the base, and lowercase h equals the height line, H-E-I-G-H-T, height line. Okay. Now the thing about, there's a reason that one of these is capitalized and one of these is not. Anytime you have a capital letter, underneath that capital letter is going to have its own formula. And the formula for the area of the bases of a cylinder is going to be the formula for the area of a circle, because the base of each of these things is a circle. Okay? So I want you to write here underneath the word capital B. In this case we're working with circles, so write the word circle. And on your formula chart you're going to find the formula for the area of a circle right here. Here's area, here's circle, and here's that formula for the area of a circle. Just in case you forget, it's pi r squared. Let's write it here so we can use it. Pi r squared. So for this exercise, each one of our bases is going to be a circle. So we know that we're going to use the same formula to find the area of that circle, pi r squared. So when you start each of these problems, let's go to number one. I want you to start by writing the formula volume equals capital B, area of the base, times the height line, and note that the height line is always from base to base, okay? From one base to the other. There's three places they could have given you your height line. Now, when you start to solve these, you're going to list out what are the pieces of the puzzle, what are the pieces of this thing do you have, or you're going to have to find. You're always going to start with H. Doesn't matter what object it is, you're always going to have a height line, so you're always going to start with H. Once you use it, I want you to cross it out. The next thing you need to recognize and anticipate, since it's a circle, I know I'm going to need that radius. Anytime I'm dealing with a circle, I'm going to use the radius of that circle. In this case, that number is 9.2. And then the last thing, which is hopefully pretty obvious, is that you're going to need to calculate this capital B. As you calculate this capital B, this is the way I want you to do it. So I want you to shade in this circle. And that's only when we start to tackle the area of this base. And the reason we're doing that is because we're going to take a measure. We're going to find the measure for the area of the circle. Okay. After you shade that in, we're going to write down what are we finding the area for? What is the shape of this base? It is a circle. Then we're going to write in the formula for the area of a circle. Now we've already captured that here. So we'll write that in here. Pi times r squared. Okay. Now, I need to be able to take the radius and I need to put it into the formula for the area of the base. 9.2, and I'm going to square that, and then I'm going to multiply it times pi. Okay? So I need a final number what is the measure for the area of the entire base. You come into your calculator, and you're simply going to take the pi button and multiply the radius, and multiply it times the radius squared. So it should look just like that. And that's going to give you, capital B, the area of the base of this thing. The area for this base is 265.904. Okay? And you're going to need to find that, capture it, put a box around it, because this is one of your answers. The other two answers that you need to have is lowercase h and lowercase r, which is your height and your radius. So these are the three answers so far. The fourth answer is, remember, you need to be able to take this radius and you need to put it into this formula properly. So here's what that's going to look like. I'm going to take the formula for the area of the base, pi times radius squared. Make sure that you label it, circle. And then this is where you cannot forget to bring in your height line. So altogether, it needs to look just like this, but you're going to substitute the numbers properly. My radius is 9.2. Pi times 9.2 squared times, don't forget your height line, in this case it's 11.7. Okay, once you get all that together, you're going to put a box around that. Remember this, the squared, the 2, comes after whatever number you have for radius. Okay, now the step between here and the final, I want you to go ahead and drop in the number for capital B. This whole thing right here is going to be 265.904 times my height line, which is 11.7. Okay, so we're simply, just like up at the top, the area of the base, your capital B, we're going to multiply this number times your height line, which is 11.7. We're going to multiply these two numbers. We used radius, but it's incorporated in this measure. So volume is simply, you're going to take the 265, take your answer there and just multiply it times the height line, in this case is 11.7. For these here, I want you to round to the nearest tenth. And underneath tenth, I want you to put 0.10 and underline that one. Okay, so I get a volume of 3111.08. I'm not done because I have to round to this nearest tenths. So right now I'm at 8 cents. Is 8 cents, is that closer to 10 cents or no cents? That's closer to 10 cents. And the 8's going to tell you that that 0 is going to become a 1. So that's what it will look like. And then I fill in the rest. And this is my final answer for the total volume. Okay? So I have total volume. Let's write that here. I have the formula. With my radius in there properly. I have the area of the base. I have my height line here and my radius. Let's write radius here. And H-E-I-G-H-T. Height line here. Okay, so these are all the things that you have to find. The height line, the radius. We're going to use the radius to find the area of the base. And you're simply then going to take these two numbers, multiply them, and round. Along the way, you need to make sure that you get that radius properly with a little 2 after it in this case, since it's volume. We're talking about volume. Okay, so let's jump over here. We'll do the same thing here. I want you to start by writing the formula. Volume equals area of the base times the height.
Good afternoon.
So we're going to begin to put a list of, we're going to put on the shelf what do we have, and we're always going to start with our height line. Always going to start with height. Once you get it, you can cross it out. Okay? We also need our radius, and we also need capital B, which in this case is going to be a circle. So let's go to radius next. Do I have the radius here? Or do I need to take this 26? I need to cut it in half. Yeah, this is all the way across. I don't need that distance. I need from the center of the circle to the outside edge. I'm going to cut that in half and recognize that my radius is a 13. Okay, next, let's tackle area of the base. Well, remember, since the base of this thing is a circle, let's go ahead and shade this in now. This is to illustrate that we're finding the area, the inside of this circle. Okay? What is the formula for the area of a circle? We wrote it right here. It's pi r squared. So underneath circle, I want you to write pi r squared. All we're doing is we're taking this 13 and we're going to use it right down here. We're going to substitute it where the r goes. So pi times 13 squared. In your calculator, here's your pi button, and I'm simply going to take that, I'm going to multiply it times 13 and make sure I hit x squared, and it should look just like this. Hit enter, and this is going to give you 530,929. That is the area of the base. That's your capital B. Okay, 530,929. Now I've got my first three answers. I've got the radius, I have the height line, and I have the area of the base. Now let's go start to solve for a volume. Let's write the name of the shape of the base, circle. And let's write the formula, pi r squared, and this time we're going to bring in our height line, h. This is important because our next answer is taking the radius and putting it into the formula properly. Pi times 13 squared, which is my radius. Now I bring in my height line, 15. Okay, this is your fourth answer, the formula with my radius in there properly. Okay, now in order to solve, I want you to see that we're simply taking these two numbers, the area of the base, which you found here, and the height line, and we're going to multiply them times each other. So the area of the base is 530.929. I'm going to multiply that times 15. How tall is this thing from base to base? So in my calculator, I should have this number already in there. I just take that number and I say I'm going to multiply that answer times the height line, which in this case is 15. And I get a total of 7,963 and 94 cents. Now remember, we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So we're going to underline the 9, circle the 4 that comes after it, and put an arrow back. Is that 4 enough to change this 9? Or is that 9 going to stay the same? Yep, it's going to stay the same. And there, oh my goodness, I did all that. And there's your final answer. Okay, 7,963.9. Okay. So for these last two, you're going to set them up. Volume equals capital B times H. And then you're going to start shelving what it is that you need over here. You need your height line first, use it, and then cross it out, 3.2. I need my radius, and I need capital B, which in this case is a circle. Same thing over here. Let's set this one up. I'm going to set up my formula. Volume equals area of the base times the height. And I'm going to start creating my inventory, my shelf of items I have over here. I have always going to start with the height line. Once you use it, please cross it out. Then I need my radius, and I need capital B here, which is a circle. So the question is, do I have my radius here, or do I need to cut this number in half? Yep, you're going to have to cut this in half. So I'm going to take 25.6 and simply divide it by 2. This time I get a 12.8. I get a radius of 12.8. Okay. The next piece is you're going to put in the formula for the area of the circle, pi r squared. Use your radius here to find your capital B. Make sure you get your formulas written and the total volumes rounded to the nearest tenth. I'll let you do the rest on your own. Great job. Raise your hand if you have any questions, and I'll come around and help you individually.